This is Alan. He's not put on the spot or anything.
No, not at all.
What are you doing?
You know, I still got blue on my thumbnail from painting your calipers. It won't come off because I clear coated over it.
You clear coated your fingers? What's up, guys? David here, once again at Evolve Tuning, the people who have absolutely saved my 240 build. They've done such a great job so far, and since you guys won't stop asking, I am back here once again to talk about what's been done since I've been gone. I went to China, then I went to Utah, then I went to Virginia Beach, all back to back, and while I've been gone, a lot has gotten done. So we're just gonna go down the list and talk about what's been completed. So first things first, people still don't really know what the 240 is for. I never really was that clear about it, but I'm not making it a drift car. It's more of a full restoration, if that makes sense. About 8 or 9 out of 10 for a full restoration, because now the chassis itself is complete. I'm talking the ball joints, which I had to get entire new control arms for. The tension rods are replaced. The outer tie rods are replaced. The rack and pinion is replaced. The rack and pinion for S13 was actually much harder to find than I possibly imagined, and we had to send the old one out to get remanufactured. Then it came back. And then I was like, okay, great, we got this, but we didn't have the outer tie rods. So I started buying outer tie rods for S13, and the people at the rack and pinion didn't tell me that they put S14 inners. So I went through 3 different outer tie rods, and so we just kept coming back to it, and finally we went to AutoZone across the street, and they had the right one. So after all of that, all we had to do was go across the street. Another thing we did was called 3M undercoat. It's essentially a truck bed liner in a way. It's this rubberized undercoat you put under the car to protect it from rust and in the environment. And it's a very simple process, and it's extremely worth it if you have an older car especially. And I imagine if you live in more of a rough climate, that's even worse. So parts of the underbody were already starting to rust because of the new materials we had, the new metal. So we put the undercoat on, and it took about 4 cans to do it. So be generous with it, don't be afraid to use it. Another good thing is the seats are now completed. They're being shipped out as we speak. The guys over at Vivid Racing and Agency Power fully built these really nice status seats, and here's a picture of them. They're not here yet. I'll make sure to do a video on those. The dash was off the car for a while. They did a bunch of the wiring. They made sure all the wiring was good. I had this hideous aftermarket cruise control next to the steering wheel. They ripped that out. They ripped out the old alarm system that was in the car that was just a piece of junk. The car itself though, like I said, chassis is complete, the fuel pump's in, the brake lines are complete, but unfortunately a emergency brake bracket on one of the rear calipers is missing. So I'm gonna have to try and find one of those. Also, my windshield cowl is also still missing, and my fuse boxes are still missing because they got lost during paint and body. So I might call in a favor from a fellow YouTuber in a second. Alright, so I'm gonna FaceTime Trevor from Motion Auto TV because he said he might have the parts that we actually need, like the windshield cowl and the fuse boxes, so I'm gonna put him right on the spot.
How's it going?
Good.
What are you doing?
I am basically telling everyone that you might have that windshield cowl and fuse box.
I know. I think I do have I have the windshield cowl for sure, and then I have, so you just need the fuse boxes? Like the actual box, or you actually need the whole wiring harness?
Yep, just the boxes.
I wish I was at the shop right now. I can just go through all my stuff.
It would save the car. How about that? If I just say it saves the car, will that mean you'll do it?
Yeah, for sure.
Because a plastic piece obviously is the most important.
How close are you guys on it? I've seen your Snapchat earlier. You don't have it in there yet.
No, those are just two little meticulous things we don't have. And then everything else is just time, really.
I basically have like an S13 that's just like, I have like an S13 on the shelf pretty much.
Okay.
And an S14. Basically I have subframes and front brakes and calipers and I mean just tons and tons of parts.
How about I'll send you a picture of what we need and you want to go from there?
Yeah. Hey, I didn't have any issues throwing any belts at this last drift event.
Oh, you didn't?
No, it stayed on. I gutted the AC compressor and I left the pulley on there.
Yeah.
And well, there wasn't any walls to hit, but yeah, it didn't come off this time. So
that's good news. Well, keep me updated about everything. Thanks for picking up.
Yeah, later, man.
All right, I'll send you a picture. Bye.
Bye.
So like I was saying, the intentions for the car isn't for drifting, it's not really even for racing, it's just to have a fun street toy. That is pretty much it. A lot of people don't really understand that, but I literally just want to drive the car around. So, segueing into my favorite part of what's been done so far is the paint jobs. So you might remember the 2J I got from J-Spec. It was in pretty good condition. It wasn't really bad. You know, the motor was opened, it got head studs and a head gasket, and it was cleaned up a lot. But the painting has really brought the car alive. The Z32 brake calipers were painted grabber blue, the valve covers were painted black, the coil pack cover was painted grabber blue, and the intakes themselves were as well. It's a lot of blue. When they had it all hanging up, we all kind of looked at each other and were going, is this way too much blue? And then we all kind of agreed that, well, I am that dude in blue, but not at this moment, but I usually am that dude in blue. Also, a lot of people thought I was going to go big single turbo. I had no intentions on going big single turbo because one, I wanted to be different because I'm weird, and two, I really wanted something that had a more linear power band and such a light car. I had no intentions on like doing crazy high speeds or anything like that. I just wanted something that felt good around corners and mountain roads and things of that nature, so I did a built GT28 setup instead. The GT28s come from the stock twin turbos, and what you do is you bore them out a little bit and they upgrade everything inside and create them into Garrett GT28s. So you go from the sequential setup and you convert them to true dual, so they both open at once, so it's gonna hit like a ton of bricks. They are nicknamed the Stu Hagen turbochargers because a man named Stu Hagen really pioneered them, and ever since then, not too many people have done it, but the turbos themselves are like 550 horsepower capable as long as you use E85. But the car is going to be on primarily pump gas because it's so much easier, and I know that once I go 85 I never would want to go back to pump gas since I want to drive the car so much. We're using stock ECU at first, messing with that, driving the car, breaking in the clutch, breaking in the differential, all those things, and we'll probably make a good amount of power on around 14 to 18 pounds, and that'll be plenty in a car that's in the 2,000 pound range, in the upper 2,000 pound range. But on that note, Alan was kind enough to do a fuel filter setup and the fuel lines that's friendly to E85. So if I ever were to go to the dark side, I could do it to spread the car's wings. However, the injectors are 440 still in the 2JZ, so you would have to change those out to use E85. And the 440s are going to be completely maxed out, so down the road when I go standalone or anything like that, I'll probably have to upgrade the injectors as well. The wiring is all fixed now, and the aftermarket radio is currently being installed. Nothing crazy, just a small little head unit and some speakers. That's all that's going in. It's all I need. Plus I'm going to be listening to the 2J the entire time. Speaking of that, the exhaust was test fitted and it looks pretty good. It's not as obnoxious as I thought it was going to be. I thought the tip might be just a little too ridiculous, like ricey, but it hangs just a hair too low. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to kind of weld it or go in a place to where it doesn't come close to the differential if you were to hit a bump or something. I'm sure we'll figure it out, especially once the motor is physically in the car, which is not actually too far away compared to previous episodes. For once in my life, if one of my subscribers asks me how the 240 is going, I can finally say it's actually going very well compared to where it was.
Mil-spec.
Mil-spec. The mil-spec harness from Chase Bays is freaking awesome. So huge shout out to Chase Bays. It's literally plug and play. So we have a little tiny bracket set up and a mount set up to where you literally plug in the harness and you can unplug it. There's no like messy wires or anything. It's super clean, it's heat resistant, and it uses awesome materials. So thank you so much, Chase, once again for that. The awesome brake lines and also the brake booster delete, which I was really worried about, but I ended up getting reinforced by my friend TJ Fry, who was my instructor out at Ford Performance, to tell me that the actuator is what makes it come alive and the brake feel really isn't that bad. Now, a lot of people ask me if these are the wheels that are on the car, that they're going to stay on the car. Yes, for now these are the wheels that are staying on the car. They are Ambit RE02s. Ambit was cool enough to tell me about them, and what's kind of cool about them is sitting still they look pretty good, but when the car is going to be rolling, it's going to be awesome because you're going to see that grabber blue caliper just kind of laying there in the background. But this car has come so ridiculously far in the 3 months it's been here. I mean, if it was just me, I didn't have the right tools, I didn't have all these things. This was the right decision. And now we're, as a channel and as a family and as all my friends and in the car scene, it's going to be a great representation of taking something from practically nothing when I got it from Top Speed Motorsports, and now it's here just being about it. It's so clean, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be pretty timeless. We're going to have some really good times in this car when it's complete, so I really look forward to those days and filming those videos. I'm super stoked, I hope you're super stoked, and that's the 240 update, guys. Thank you so much for watching and being patient, and the next episode, the car will probably be near completion or the motor will be inside the car. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a fantastic day.